Hello, my name is Callista and welcome to another video update. Today is January 2nd, so it's a day late, but that's close enough. Happy New Year's to you all. I hope you all have a fantastic 2025 ahead of you. Now, to toast in the new year, I have a little something special today. I always like to try something new whenever I do a video update, but today I have prepared a Pentiment-inspired feast. Feast might be a bit strong. Feast might be a bit stronger word. It is a snack and a drink. But fuck it. Feast is festive and it's New Year's, so I'm gonna call my snack a feast if I want to, okay? Now, Pentiment, in case you aren't aware, Pentiment is my current weekend series. It is set in Germany, specifically Bavaria, I can never remember what year Pentiment is set. I can never remember the year. It's medieval times. It's ye olden times. And a big part of the game is sharing meals with your friends and neighbors to try and get rumors and gossip. And in one of the meal segments, I found something called Lebkuchen. Now, I know that Kuchen means cake. You know, you have cafe and Kuchen, coffee and cake. I wasn't sure what Leb meant, so I was like, what kind of cake is this? What kind of cake is this? And Joris in the comments said, oh, it's kind of like German gingerbread. If you're into gingerbread, then you should try it. And I am into gingerbread. So we have some very cute Lebkuchen stars. It's got kind of like icing sugar on the front and dark chocolate on the back. And then to wash that down, we have, it is open, not because I've been drinking it, but because the cork was so fucking awkward. It took me, my mum, and my dad to open this bottle. And as such, I'm not putting this back in again. No, I'm not risking not being able to open it again. We have some mead from the, I'm gonna butcher this name, I'm so sorry. We have the Nidhogger Mead Company Raspberry and Lemon Mead. It is produced and bottled in Yorkshire. It is 15% volume. That's going to be fun. I've never tried mead before. So I'm very excited to see about that. I have been snacking on the Lebkuchen. I was going to save it and try it here, but it looked so good. It looked so good, so I wanted to try it. Now, cheers. Here's to the new year. It's nice. I wouldn't say it's like German gingerbread. Or rather, to me, this doesn't taste like gingerbread. In a funny way, I describe it as tasting like Christmas. Because the smell of it, it's all of those Christmas spices. It is all of those Christmas spices blended together, and I do think there is ginger in it. You can't really specifically taste the ginger, but still it is very nice. The texture reminds me of gingerbread. Normally gingerbread is quite thin, or at least all the gingerbread I've had is very, very thin. This is like a fluffier gingerbread in texture, and it tastes like Christmas. Very nice. Now the mead, let's see. Oh, hello. Okay, so my first main scent that I'm getting is the alcohol. You can really smell the alcohol. I assumed it would smell more like honey because it's mead. Mead is made from honey, but funnily enough, I think the scent I'm getting the most is the lemon. I would have assumed that the two main scents would have been honey and raspberry. No, I'm getting alcohol and lemon. Okay, let's give this a shot. Cheers. Ooh. Okay, yeah. I can. Yeah, 15% volume is right. Okay. I don't know how to describe that. That is unlike anything I have tasted before. Like, in a good way. It's not disgusting or nothing. But yeah, I would not have called that raspberry and lemon. I would have called that lemon and raspberry. And you may think, oh, they're exactly the same. No, there is a difference. Like, you can taste the lemon. The lemon comes through full blast, and then there's like, it's got like a very slight berry taste. Very slight. That's nice. That's not what I expected. I think the best way, like, I'm confused. I'm confused by it because I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but it certainly wasn't that. Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. I'll be sipping on that throughout this video. But now, yes, onto the actual like meat and potatoes of this video. State of the channel. Where are we at? Okay, so currently I am playing Nier Replicant, A Plague Tale: Innocence, and Pentiment. I don't really have much to say on Nier Replicant because I've literally just started it. I'm only 5 episodes in. I've completely forgotten the controls. It's been, obviously I'm on break right now. It has been a while since I played that game, so I've completely forgotten the controls. I'm gonna have to give myself a little bit of a recap the next time I record. I think I will say I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued by what I've seen of Nier Replicant because the opening, it's confusing, but confusing in a good way. We start off in like a supermarket with Nier and Yona, and then the game fast forwards like multiple thousands of years, and we're with Nier and Yona. And I guess right now I'm curious to see if it's a case of time travel, so it is the same characters who were in the prologue. Could it be that this Nier and Yona are descendants of this Nier and Yona, and, the names just run in the family? Is it something else entirely? I'm not entirely sure, but I'm very excited to see where that goes and what this story is going to end up being. I've only had like a sip of you. It's more than a sip, it's like a gulp, but like still, it's too soon for me to be fuddling up my words like this. Mead, how dare you? Yeah, I don't really have any predictions for where the story is gonna go, so I'm just quite like, ooh, like where is this going? Like I'm going into this just like wide-eyed and like, ooh, what's happening? A Plague Tale: Innocence. I love A Plague Tale: Innocence. I absolutely love that. I am 12 parts in, and I'm so glad I gave that game a chance. I'm so glad I did, because I would describe Plague Tale as a stealth game with horror elements, and I don't really do stealth games because I don't think I'm particularly good at stealth, and I avoid horror. I don't deal with horror. No thank you, I'm not into that. But what made me give A Plague Tale a chance, I was watching some trailers for it, and I was just so drawn in by Amicia and Hugo. I found them both to be very compelling characters, and I was like, I want to see what story they go on. I want to see their journey. And even though this game is a genre that I'm kind of like, oh, this is off-putting, I was so compelled by the main characters that I was like, you know what, I'll give it a chance. And I'm so glad I did. I am so glad I did, because I am enjoying it so much. I think A Plague Tale is actually my favourite game currently that I am playing on the channel. And then finally we have Pentiment. I believe I'm 62 parts into that. I think I'm almost finished. I'm in Act 3. I'm not entirely sure how far into Act 3 I am, because I get the feeling that, so Act 1 and Act 2 had very similar, they had very similar progression. They hit very similar story beats, whereas Act 3 has kind of made some changes. Things have gone a little skewed. And so I'm kind of like, I can't tell if, I've only just begun Act 3, if I'm actually halfway through Act 3. Like, I don't think I'm in, like, the final bit of Act 3. I still think there's, like, a decent chunk of the game left to go. But I would be surprised if the game hadn't ended before we hit episode 75. I'm on episode 62. I would be surprised if we got past 75 episodes for this Let's Play. Everything feels like it's winding down. All of the mysteries are kind of converging, and I feel like we're going to get answers soon. And I am... When I say I'm happy that this game is ending, I don't mean that like, oh, I hate this game, I can't wait to be rid of it. Like, no, it's not that. It's that, like, this game is a mystery game. It's a mystery game, and I've been having all of these theories and thoughts, and I'm so excited to see, you know, whether those theories were right. I'm so, I want the answers. I want the answers. I have gone on this journey, I have walked the path, and I am so eager to get those confirmations as to what's going on, as to the deeper meanings of, like, all of these little bits and pieces. Like, I want to consume. I want to consume the answers. And that time is getting closer, and I'm just like, yes, it's coming. And I just, like, I've enjoyed Pentiment so much. I've enjoyed it, and I am going to be sad to see it go, but at the same time, as I said, I want those answers. I want those truths to be revealed at long last, and I'm so excited for that. So those are the games. What has been going on with the channel this year? I have to talk about this. This was the year that I received an absurd amount of hate comments on 2 Let's Plays, well, one mainly, and then another to a lesser degree, Danganronpa V3 and Mass Effect 2. People really didn't like the fact that I didn't like a specific character in V3, and a bunch of people really didn't like the fact that I wasn't smitten with the main plot in Mass Effect 2. Now, people were definitely worse in the comment section of V3. Like, in Mass Effect 2, I got a bunch of people being like, oh, how dare you not like this, you're so hateful, you're not into gaming, blah, blah, blah. On V3, I got people telling me that I deserved to die. I got people telling me that they hoped I died. That's fucked. That is actually fucked. I'm not smiling because I'm happy, or because, like, I think you have to laugh. You have to laugh, otherwise you'd cry. Like, it's just so absurd. It is so absurd to me. You don't like a fictional character, I am going to wish physical harm on you. That is crazy to me. That is, like... Doing YouTube, you get used to... I would describe it as banal hatred. You get used to that from time to time. You know, I've been doing YouTube for 4 years at this point. You know, on June 1st it will be my, you know, the channel will turn 5 years old. In that time, you know, occasionally you get people who are like, you know, just, oh, you know, you're a girl playing video games, fuck you, or, oh, you made this decision in a game, I don't like that decision, screw yourself, bitch. Like, you just, like, random hate, and to be honest, that's never bothered me, because it's random, it's not necessarily targeted, and it's not necessarily serious. Telling someone you hope they die, that's fucking serious. That's serious, and that was jarring. That was very jarring. Although in a way, I'm glad that happened to me this year. I would have been happy if it happened to me in year 3, but if it had happened in year 1 or year 2, I think I would have been very upset by that. I would have been very, very upset by that. So in a way, I'm glad that I played V3 when I did. If I had played it any sooner, like, I would have had a much different response. At the beginning, when I first started doing YouTube, I kind of felt... How do I explain this? I kind of felt like I had to be grateful for every single comment I received. And here's the thing, I am grateful. I am grateful for every comment that I get that is polite, kind, respectful. I am not grateful for comments that tell me to go kill myself. I'm not that. You shouldn't be grateful for that. You shouldn't, like, that is bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. I don't care that you took the time to write out 10 paragraphs. I am not kidding there. I am not kidding. I received this comment. 10 paragraphs, 10 full paragraphs, not like a few sentences, full paragraphs, 10 of them, which basically boil down to, go kill yourself, fuck you. Like, I don't care that you took the time to write that. I'm not going to be grateful that you're wishing harm on me. But in the first 2 years, I believed, oh, I should be grateful. Even if I get a comment that is full of hate, that is just outwardly aggressive, I need to be grateful for this. And funnily enough, the comments I got in the first 2 years, like I said, you would occasionally get like, oh, fuck you, you know, you're a bitch, blah, blah, blah. The comments I got very frequently were comments that were disguised as friendliness, but really weren't. I think back, there was this one individual. This was the guy that got to me. This was the guy that made me go, oh, I don't need to be grateful for this bullshit. You are not being kind, you are not being polite, you are not being respectful. I do not need to tolerate this. Fuck this shit. He started leaving comments when I was doing her story, I believe. And from the moment he started commenting, he was speaking to me like we were old friends. And for context, I did not know this guy. And just like, oh, but Kallista, he could have been someone that you knew in real life. And, you know, obviously, you know, a username doesn't have to be someone's real name or a picture of their face. So maybe you did know this guy. No, he did Let's Plays. He did Let's Plays, and he used a webcam and he used a mic. So I could see this guy's face, I could hear his voice, and I was like, I have no idea who this guy is. I have never met him in real life. This is not an actual real world acquaintance who just hasn't made it clear, like, hey, we know each other, but like, this is a complete stranger to me. But from the moment he started leaving comments, he was speaking to me like he knew me inside and out. And it was uncomfortable. It made me so very uncomfortable. Like, there were... I don't think I can describe this in such a way that you will understand, but like, I'm gonna do my best. So in her story, I kept saying throughout the Let's Play, like, I don't want to finish the game until I found all of the clips. I want to find all of the clips. I'm not gonna quit until I find all of the clips. And he left me this comment, and I can't remember what was before and what was after, but the main crux of it was like, oh, you keep saying you won't quit until you've found all of the clips. Are you by chance weak-willed? And it didn't come off as like, oh, are you weak-willed? It came off as, are you weak-willed? Tell me you're weak-willed. Weak-willed women. Like, it came off as fucking weird. I showed that comment to other people, and I was like, am I making more of this? Am I making more out of this than it is? Like, am I misreading this? And everyone said, no, this is fucking weird. This is fucking weird. Or during Firewatch, he said, oh, it's... In Firewatch, again, you're going through, like, the forest and shit, and I was saying, like, oh, I don't like this is creepy. This is creepy. You could hear, like, twigs, you know, cracking, like someone had stepped on them, but it wasn't from your perspective. It's like in one headphone and like behind, so you get the feeling like, oh shit, someone's following me, oh god. It was quite a creepy experience, and I was saying I didn't like this, and he left me a comment saying like, oh, most females prefer to be in meadows with flower crowns. I suspect you would prefer that, Kallista. It's like, what the what? Like, just weirdness. Or god, this is the kicker. He requested that I play Alien Isolation, and I said, well, thank you for the request, but no, I don't play horror games. I would be scared of like playing Alien Isolation. I'd be scared of having a heart attack because I'd be so afraid. And he responded, oh, people are so selfish these days, not willing to make themselves uncomfortable to bring joy to other people. Selfish. Like, I'm sorry. I'm selfish to not want to put myself through immense fear to bring joy to others. But then, how is it not selfish to expect other people to hurt themselves for your entertainment? I didn't say that, but I thought it, because again, at the time I was like, I need to be grateful, like, this guy, he's being really weird, and he's creeping me out, but he's taking the time to leave me comments, and therefore I have to be grateful, even though I feel so thoroughly uncomfortable by this person. And the kind of final straw was, so in Firewatch, I wouldn't say this is exactly a spoiler because this is revealed in the first 5 minutes of gameplay. Basically, the opening of the game is, so you play as Henry, and it's a bit like a choose your own adventure where you get like a little bit of story and you pick out what Henry did. So like, does Henry adopt a German Shepherd, or does he adopt a beagle? Like things like that. And basically it tells the story of Henry's romance with this lady called Julia. And about halfway through, it's revealed that Julia has early onset Alzheimer's. They're in their like 40s, maybe 50s, like it is early. She should not have this at the age that she is. And one of the big choices that Henry has to make is, does Henry send Julia to a care home, or does he try and look after her in his own house? And I decided, right, I want to roleplay Henry a little bit. So I think Henry is the type of guy who would maybe stick his head in the sand a little bit. And if he sends her to the care home, then he is acknowledging to the world something is wrong. Julia is not herself anymore. She is dealing with this terrible, terrible illness, and I'm losing the love of my life. Everyone will see that. He has to acknowledge it. Whereas if he tries to care for her in his own house, he can, no, like, she's my Julia, there's nothing wrong with her. Like, the neighbours don't know, the neighbours and the people around me don't know that anything is wrong, nothing is wrong, I'm sticking my head in the sand, I'm not dealing with this. So I chose he takes care of her at his home. And this guy sent me, I get annoyed thinking about this, Like I said, this was my final straw. This was my oh fuck this moment. He sent me a message basically saying, you are so stupid and ignorant. You know nothing about dementia and Alzheimer's. How dare you think that you could take care of her successfully in your home? Like, how dare you not send her to the care home? Like, how dare you think that this would even be an option? Like, why would you be so stupid? Why would you be so stupid as to pick that option? How dare you? You are so ignorant. You know nothing. And the reason this upset me is because my grandmother had dementia. And my mother, for many years, attempted to look after my grandmother in her home. And it was... My grandmother had a stroke, and I'm not a medical professional. So please take everything I say here with a grain of salt. I don't know if the stroke brought on the dementia quicker. I don't know if there was some kind of like meshing there, but it just, like, she couldn't walk. She could no longer walk, and the NHS, they were sending, in-home carers to do physical therapy with her, and my grandmother was just refusing. No, I don't want to deal with this. And it reached the point where the NHS basically said, we aren't going to send these physical therapy people to her home anymore because how she is treating them is not okay. Now, I don't think she was like being verbally abusive. I don't think she was like threatening them or like throwing shit at them. Like, I don't think she was doing any of that, but she was being very rude. She was being very rude and very uncooperative, and basically said, like, listen, these are not good working conditions. We can't force our people to endure this crap. Like, we're not going to press charges or out like that, but like, we're just not going to do anything. And so it was up to my mum, who is not a physical therapist, who, like, that's not her job. It was up to her to try and get my grandmother to walk. And again, there are lines that my grandmother was willing to cross with a relative that she was not willing to cross with a stranger. I don't know what she was saying to those physical therapy people, but the way she spoke to my mum, it was nasty. It was nasty. And my mum bent over backwards for her, trying to take care of her, trying to be the best daughter that she possibly could. And it hurts. It hurts. Watching someone you love slowly evaporating because of something that is affecting their mind, something that you can't physically do anything about. And in the end, after years of damn near killing herself to try and take care of my grandmother in her home, my mum finally had to say, I can't do this. I've tried, but I can't do this. And she had to put her in a home, and my grandmother was not happy about that. She was not happy. But someone leaving me a comment telling me that I don't know anything about Alzheimer's or dementia, that I am ignorant, that I've clearly never seen anyone try and take care of a dementia patient in their home, that fucked me off. That fucked me right off. That was my snapping point. That was my snapping point. I sent him a message basically saying, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you assume you know anything about me? My grandmother had dementia. My mother attempted to care for her. I know exactly what happens to people who try and take care of dementia patients in their own homes. How fucking dare you assume anything about my life? How dare you? And this guy doubled down, basically saying, oh no, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to Henry. Now, at no point in his comment did he say, this is directed towards Henry. Also, his comment wasn't worded in a way that made it clear he was talking about the video. From my perspective, he was just talking about dementia and Alzheimer's, like, at large. There was nothing that was like, oh, how could you make this decision in the video game? It was all very much like, oh, you don't know what it takes to look after someone with Alzheimer's in their home. Putting them in a care home is the best thing. Why don't you know this? Like, it was very much like it was directed at me. It felt like it was directed at me, and suddenly he's like, no, it was directed at Henry. It was directed at Henry. Why didn't you know this? And I'm just there like, I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a mind reader. And he kept doubling down, basically saying like, oh, you had no reason to believe I'd come after you personally. You had no reason to think that. It's like, sir, in her story, you called me stupid and embarrassing because I went through a list to get the last few clips because I was completely stuck. Like, sir. And in the end, he basically said like, oh, God, what was it? Like, oh, it's 2 a.m. for both of us, so neither of us clearly do well at night. For context, I'm a night owl. I am routinely up at 2 a.m. That is in my normal schedule. So again, making assumptions about me and just deciding like, oh yeah, what I know is right. And like I said, that was my moment. That was my moment where I was like, oh, fuck this. I do not have to tolerate people speaking to me in this manner. And just, if I had played Danganronpa V3 in years 1 or year 2, I would have been so upset. As it stands, I'm not upset, I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? That was crazy. Well, that shows me for not liking a character. Insane. Now let's move on for that. Oh my god, Mead, stop it. Let's move on from that. Let's talk about something a little bit more positive. Something really cool that happened. So I think it was last year, I played a game called The Case of the Golden Idol. It's a fantastic game. If you're really into puzzles, I would highly recommend checking it out for yourself. But on the last part of my Let's Play of the main game, so that was part 9, I believe, I got a comment from one, I'm about to butcher this name, I apologise. I think you have to roll the R, and I'm really bad at rolling my R's. Andres Clavins. Now, if you are familiar with the Golden Idol series, you will know that is one of the creators of the game. He left me a comment on the final part of my Let's Play basically saying like, hey, we've seen this, we really liked it, good job. And I was so fucking starstruck. I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. Now, fast forward, Rise of the Golden Idol has just come out, and I was going to wait to purchase it. I was going to wait for the sales because I never like to purchase anything at full price. But I was waiting to purchase it, and Andres contacted me. There we go. I can speak English. I swear I can. He contacted me again, basically saying, "Hey, would you like a free copy of Rise of the Golden Idol? We liked your Let's Play so much that we want to give you the second game for free." And I acted like a complete fucking dork. I was such a fucking... I was starstruck. I was starstruck. That was the thing. I was like, yes, thank you so much. This means so much to me. This has never happened to me before. Oh my god. It was like, take the key. Take the Steam key. There you go. I'm oh, thank you so much. Oh, like, I'm just such a fucking dork. Such a fucking dork. But it was so fucking cool. The creator of a game that I really love gave me a copy of the sequel for free, and here's the thing, I don't know the Let's Playing etiquette behind this. Do I have to, like, when you upload a YouTube video, there's a button that says, does this contain a paid promotion? And I should just say, I've not been paid to do anything. Like, in his message, he outright stated, this is a gift. We are not expecting you to Let's Play this. We'd like it if you did, but if you don't want to do that, there is no pressure to do that. This is literally just a gift. So I don't think I have to tick that box saying, like, this is a paid for promotion. I'm not getting paid to do shit. I would like it. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh my god, like a game developer reaching out saying, we will pay you to play this. Like, dude! Fucking hell, like that, I think I'd be too embarrassed. I'd be like, no, I'll play it for free. I can't take this. Like, Jesus. God, if I was starstruck over getting something for free, can you imagine how starstruck I'd be at a developer paying me to play something? That'd be insane. That would be insane. But yeah, so I'm not being paid by the developer to play it, but also I'm like, I was technically gifted it by the developer. I feel like ethically you should say something about that. I think. Like, I have time. I have time to figure it out. I'm not recording that just yet, so I've got time. But still, that was so fucking cool. I think that was the coolest thing that happened to me related to the channel in 2024. That was it was amazing. It was a cheers to that. Let's toast that. And also eat a biscuit to try and prevent tongue fumbles. Ooh, they go nice together. They go nice together. Okay. Moving on. Channel goals. I wanted to get to 1,500 subs by next June 1st. Currently, the channel is sat at 1,260, so we are over halfway there. So I do think we're on track for hitting my goal by next June 1st. That is great. I think is that everything about the channel? Oh, when this video update goes live, channel memberships should be on. If you are interested in that, the join button should be below. There is no pressure if you do not have, like, please don't give money that you don't have. Like, that is not necessary at all. Like, if you have something extra and you're like, yeah, I feel like supporting Kallista's channel, then like, that's great. But if you don't, no shame. There is no shame, there is no pressure. Only give what you can afford. If you can't afford to give anything, then that is a-okay. Like, there is no worries, no stress about that at all. Okay, now I think that is everything for the channel. Personal update. I was so burnt out. I was so burnt out by the end of December. Like, Jesus Christ, it wasn't good. It really wasn't good. And the break I've been taking has been... It's been both good and bad. Because on one hand, I'm no longer burnt out. And that is fantastic. Like, it reached the point where I would set up my recording. So, you know, I'd bring up Audacity, I'd bring up OBS, I'd open up Steam, and I'd be setting it all up. And I'd just be thinking, Jesus Christ, please no. Please, no, I don't want to do this. And I should just say, it wasn't affecting my enjoyment of the games. Like, I'd get into the game, and I'd be very happy, you know, playing along, you know, sniping people and solving murders and like this, that, and to like, I was enjoying the games themselves, but the setup beforehand, it filled me with such dread. It filled me with such dread. I didn't want to record. I simply didn't want to record because I was in such a bad headspace. And right now I'm feeling like, oh, I can't wait to record. I'm so excited. Like, when am I going to start recording? So that I've got videos prepped for the 6th. I believe I'm coming back on the 6th. Probably. Yes, maybe. Like, I'm so excited to get into recordings again. So like that, it's been really great in that sense. However, so I've been on kind of a like a downward slope in terms of my mental health. And the thing with taking breaks is that if I'm in a bad headspace mentally, breaks don't help. Yes, I feel rejuvenated in terms of like video games and shit like that, but in terms of my mental health, I don't feel great. I don't feel great. YouTube, it gives me structure. And I know that personally I need structure. I need schedules. And if I don't have that, if I'm slightly wrong in my head, if I'm slightly wrong, things just tank. Like literally the other day, this actually scared me. I found myself waking up at 6:20 in the afternoon. I'm not talking 6:20 a.m., 6:20 in the afternoon. I woke up. That's not normal. That's not normal for me. I'm a late riser. I fully admit I am a late riser. I'm a night owl. I enjoy being up at night, so I am quite a late riser. I'm not 6:20 late. That is unusual for me. And it reminded me of when I was 18 to 20. Yeah, 18 to 20. After I left school, I went through... I don't like saying that I have suffered with depression because I never got a diagnosis for depression. I have no interest in claiming a title that is not rightfully mine. So I tend to say I suffer with black moods. However, that 2-year stint, again, I don't like saying it was depression, but I feel like any person would say, Callista, you were clearly depressed as fuck. For 2 years, I basically didn't leave the house. I was actively suicidal, and I pretty much just stopped taking care of myself. It was not pretty. It was not pretty. I'm very ashamed. I'm very ashamed and embarrassed of how I was living then. For context, like I think over the course of those 2 years, I was bathing every 6 months. It was, like I said, anyone would hear that and I think that is clearly depression. That is clearly depression. But I don't like saying it was because, like I said, I technically never got help. I just lived like that for 4 years, and I don't know what changed. I think that's the scariest thing about that time for me. I don't know what changed. October hit, and one day I got out of bed and was just like, I'm fine now. I'm fixed. I'm good. Like, I didn't go to therapy. I didn't get on any medication. Like, nothing changed. But for whatever reason, like I said, just one day I woke up and a switch had been flipped, and I was like, I can live an appropriate lifestyle now. I would like to shower, please. Like, I'm just gonna spend the day in the shower scrubbing, like, Jesus Christ. I can't explain what happened to make me better. And like I said, during that time, I was getting up at like I said, 6:30 in the afternoon. So getting up at 6:20 the other day, that scared me. That scared me because I don't ever want to go back. I don't ever want to go back to living like that. And it's a worry I have of ending up in that position again and not knowing how to fix it, because I don't know what fixed it last time. Nothing changed. There was no big event. It just randomly, one day I was like, I'm better. I'm good to go. let's see what's going out in the world. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, and as such, it's not like, oh, I can recreate those conditions if ever I got so bad that I was living like that again. And I don't ever want to live like that again. Never again. No, thank you. So YouTube gives me structure. It gives me a schedule, and like I said, I've never done breaks well. I've never done breaks well. I like having lists. I like having tasks that I need to do in a day. Just saying like, oh, rest, recuperate, Callista. You don't have anything to do today. That to me encourages negative aspects of my personality that I don't particularly like. It encourages those depressive thoughts and feelings to rear up. I need to be busy. I need to be busy. And like I said, the break's been good and bad. I want to get back on my schedule. I want to get back on my schedule. I need my schedule, please. What have I been doing with my break? What have I been doing? So I've been doing reading. I've been doing some reading. I'm rereading A Murder Is Announced by Agatha Christie. It's very good. Funnily enough, my parents bought me some more Miss Marples for Christmas, and with Miss Marple, I've read most of the books, and the ones I haven't read, I've seen the like TV adaptations of. However, there are 2 Marple books that I have not read and I have not seen TV adaptations of, and funnily enough, it's her first and last case. It's her first and last case. It's the final cases of Miss Marple, and the 13 problems? It's the 13 somethings. I want to say it's the 13 problems. And those were 2 of the books that my parents got me for Christmas. So I'm very excited to read them. I'm very excited to, see what I make of that. I attempted to do some drawing. Like I said, when I have nothing to do, I like to give myself tasks. I like to work on little projects. Like, I've been reading like a chapter at a time of A Murder Is Announced. I've been trying to draw, but I found that burnout for me gives me artist block. I've found that, I don't know why, I can't explain it, but I've been really struggling to draw. You know what? I'm gonna flash up the drawings I've done this year. I'm very proud of Zora. She's the black dragonborn, because I don't draw lizards. I don't draw them, so I'm very happy with how she came out. The last thing I've been doing, I have been playing Veilguard in my break. I should just, I'm enjoying Veilguard. I'm enjoying it. I do have some complaints, some things that I'd change. In a way, Veilguard to me feels very much so like baby's first RPG. If I had a friend who, had never played an RPG before, never played Dungeons and Dragons, the tabletop game, and they were like, I want to get into video game RPGs, but I'm not sure if I'd like it, what game would you pick? I think I'd pick out Veilguard, because there's nothing offensive about, well, if you're offended by pronouns and non-binary people, then there's plenty to be offended by, but if otherwise, there's literally nothing offensive in the game. They repeat information a lot, and on a personal level, I find that frustrating, because I don't need something to be repeated that many times. Like, repeat it once or twice, just to make sure, like, do you have it? Do you have it? But the number of times they repeat stuff, it feels very much like we're holding your hand. Like I said, baby's first RPG. Like, we expect you to not know how to retain information, so we're going to repeat this over and over and over and over and over again. And if you're a veteran RPG player, it's just like, I don't need to be told this so much. I don't need to be told this, like, every other sentence. Like, please. And I think that the last thing I'd say is that they do a lot of, instead of showing and not telling, they tell. They just straight up tell. I think a really good scene of that was, I don't want to give spoilers in case people haven't played this, but there's a scene where in Minrathous, we see like this, it's like a memorial, and they have these balls of light, and basically families pay mages to like light them, and it's like a way of remembering. And we see one that's not lit, and one of the companions, Nev, she knows who that ball is dedicated for. And, you know, she says like, oh, it's dedicated to this person, and she tells like a little story about them, and then, you know, another person who knew the deceased, you know, they were very important to the newcomer to the scene, comes in and they're talking, and Nev lights the ball. And rather than just like, this is what I would have preferred to happen, like the ball like floats up into the sky, it's there, and maybe the newcomer is just like, oh, thank you. And then the scene ends. But instead they go like, oh, you lit the ball, like, and it's like, it's over-explained, and I'm just kind of like, you didn't need that line. You could have just shown it, and it would have told the player, like, oh, Nev is kind. Nev is not doing this, like, because we get told at the beginning of the scene, generally speaking, you have to pay mages to do that. And the reason why this one is unlit is probably because this person hasn't had the money to afford the mages. Or it's like slipped their mind, they're very busy. And so just showing Nev light the ball and send it up, that would have told us a lot about her character. But instead they over-explain it. They tell, they don't show. Like I said, baby's first RPG. Baby's first RPG. Like I said, I am enjoying it. I have my complaints, but I am enjoying it on the whole. I'm almost finished with it. I'm just about to jump into the final bit. I'm just about to jump into the final bit of the game, so I'm very excited for that. Yeah, I've been trying to keep busy. I prefer to keep busy when I'm on break. I find that is better for my mental health. Yeah, I think that's everything that's up with me. I'm not doing so great mentally, which scares me. It scares me more than a little bit, but my inclination is to keep plowing forward. That's just kind of what I do. Just like, oh, an incident, we keep moving forwards. We never stop. We never stop going. Work and work and work. Just keep moving. And that's... I wouldn't say it's that I don't deal with my issues. I think I do. Like, I just prefer to keep busy. I prefer to keep moving. Standing still feels a little bit too much like stagnation to me. And I stagnated for 2 years. And it wasn't pleasant. It was, I think to be honest, I think actually I've hit the nail on the head there. I spent 2 years doing nothing. Literally nothing beyond sitting in bed all day and trying to kill myself. I'm not laughing because I find this funny. I'm laughing because I have a rather dark sense of humour, and if I don't laugh, I'll cry. I'm not actively suicidal now. I should just clarify that. I'm not actively suicidal at all. No, thank you. Dark thoughts, suicidal ideation never really went away, but I'm not actively suicidal. I'm not trying to end my life. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not interested in that. Yeah, I spent 2 years stagnating, and I don't like to stagnate. I want to move. I want to move forwards. I want to swim. Just forwards, onwards. I don't want to sink like a stone. Yeah. For the new year, I'm going to attempt to manifest crackhead energy again, because crackhead energy gets shit done. Just keep moving forwards. Keep moving forwards. I have no interest in pretending that things are happy when they're not. I'm not into toxic positivity, because it is a thing. It is a thing. I think there's no shame in admitting when everything is shit. I don't think there's any shame in admitting things are shit. Things are shit right now. I'll get better. I know I'll get better. I can say that with certainty. I know that I will get better. It is just getting there. That is the tricksy bit. Yeah, I think 2024 ended on a rather sour note for me. I declined mentally. towards the latter half of the year. I think for the beginning of 2025, like I said, I just kind of want to improve. I want to get back to where I was at the beginning of 2024. That's kind of my goal, my New Year's resolution, if you wish. I think that's it. This video update kind of ended on a downer. My apologies. My apologies there. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna end this here. I hope you all had good years last year, and I hope that 2025 will be a significant improvement for us all. So, yeah. Cheers, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.